second half of the NFL season is here, and those young QBs are putting on a show. But who's the best team? This is when we separate the pretenders from the contenders. And you can follow that story every Sunday with the NFL on CBS.
Basketball is back, and to celebrate its return, DraftKings, the leader in one-day fantasy sports, is giving new players a free shot at a $1 million top prize.
If you haven't tried daily fantasy sports, what are you waiting for? Get in the game now and use code SMOKE during sign-up, only with DraftKings.
Playing daily fantasy sports is simple. Just pick your lineup, stay under the salary cap, and see how your team stacks up against the competition.
Every dunk, steal, assist means so much more with DraftKings daily fantasy lineup. And for all you football fans, even though the season is winding down, there's still plenty of action to unfold.
With DraftKings, payday comes every day for players. So what are you waiting for? Go to the App Store and use the code SMOKE.
That's code SMOKE, and you can win a free shot at a $1 million top prize, only at DraftKings.
Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for more details. Welcome back, man. Season 2 of All the Smoke.
We got a real special guest.
What's up with your Brody with the virtual handshake?
I'm going to tell y'all something that I never told nobody.
I want all the smoke.
Welcome back to another edition of All the Smoke. Jack, what's up with you?
My brother, what's happening? Hey, congratulations too, boy. Congratulations, man.
You talking to me?
What you mean? Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Yeah, man, I just sold the show to Showtime.
Oh, yeah, congrats.
We on our way, bro. We on our way. Appreciate that. Man, we got a great guest today, man. It's not about me today. It's about our next guest, someone I played on the same team with, but he got hurt at the very beginning of the year, so I never got to experience actually playing with him. But someone that I can't.
He probably dunked on both of us.
Yeah, I mean, someone I came in the league with, I knew right from the jump this was a bad motherfucker, man. So everyone welcome my brother, Amar'e Stoudemire, to the show.
The man child.
What's up,
the man child.
What's up with you, man? How's everything?
Man, I can't call him. Everything good.
Glad to hear that. So what's 2020 been like for you? Roller coaster year, obviously, for the country. You accept the job as a coach for the Brooklyn Nets. Family's healthy. Talk to me.
Yeah, man, it was crazy, man. I mean, the initial just started out with me playing overseas. So I went over to China for a few months, then went over to Israel and finished up over there.
Won a championship, right? You won a championship, right?
Yeah. So
MVP?
We got the chip.
Yeah.
We had the chip over there, got the finals MVP. And then COVID
Congratulations.
happened. Yeah, appreciate it. Corona happened, and then I moved back to Miami. And so I was here in Miami for a while. Then I ended up getting a job over with the Nets. So it's been a pretty good year so far for me.
Did you think, or is it something you always wanted to do? Was to get into coaching and player development, or to kind of come out of left field?
Came out of left field. I never thought about coaching. I mean, obviously I got my youth programs in Florida, so I've been involved in grassroots with Nike since 2005. Of like trying to develop young players. I always have my Skills Academy camp every year. Also with Nike throughout the years. So I always kind of been in that player development space, but never thought that I'd be like a coach or working with an NBA team.
How excited are you to be back working with Steve?
Man, it's a fun atmosphere, bro. Like honest with you, you know, Steve and I got a relationship that we built back in Phoenix, and so now to be kind of back with Steve and seeing him out as a coach and being back in the locker room with him reminds me of like the times we had in Phoenix. So it's a great atmosphere for the both of us. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, y'all have some great times at Phoenix. We'll definitely get to that later. Your transition, obviously, from just finishing up playing to now coach, what is kind of your excitement level as a coach now, because you're coaching both of them, to see a healthy Kyrie Irving and a healthy Kevin Durant on the floor, you being able to coach them?
Yeah, you know what, man? It's been exciting, bro. Watching these boys in training camp, how they get after it, the way they compete. Both of them playing at a high level, both of them healthy. And I've really never seen two players this good before. And I've experienced a lot of players. I played with a lot of players. I've been around the game for a long time. But I don't think I've ever seen two players as good as Kyrie and KD.
I feel that. Definitely feel that. What's it like? What's the energy and the vibe like? You guys have a good mix now of, two championship superstars with a great core young group. What's that mixture and chemistry been like, although, short in training camp so far?
Well, you know what, man? I kind of leave it to Steve to kind of handle, a lot of those player development courses and situations going on with the team. But what I've experienced so far is that everyone has great chemistry. Everyone has great vibe. Mm-hmm. Everyone's focused on the goals. And I'm just doing my part by just being kind of that vocal guy as well and helping them out with development. Any guys need any help along the way as far as improving their skills, I'm always available for that. I'm always giving them game, whether it's on the court game or off the court game. And so they appreciate it.
Both are needed.
Yeah.
You played for the Knicks. Now you on the Brooklyn side. I know you've been hearing a lot of chitter chatter. Talk about that.
Yeah, you know what? Playing for the Knicks, man. I'm always gonna be a Knicks guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, far as the time of my time playing with the Knicks was a moment of history for me that I would never forget. But then life goes on and experiences happen, and then opportunity comes along the way. You can't really not take advantage of opportunities when they come your way because it may not never happen again. And so when two-time got the job with Brooklyn, I reached out to him and said, "Hey, man, I'm here if you need me for your support, whatever that may be." And that's how I kind of got involved with the Nets.
Mm-hmm. Nice. It was a quick turnaround. Obviously, just finishing the season a little bit over for the champions, about 70-something days, 70-plus days removed from the bubble. Now we're in a space where we're just going to have to put a lot of trust in players and organizations to keep themselves as safe as possible. Have you guys discussed or even thought about what it's going to be like moving around now? Because obviously you lived a certain way as a player, and it was, we moved around so freely. Now as a coach, we kind of have a lot of restrictions on us. Have you guys talked or have you thought about what it's going to be like traveling now and having so much responsibility to try to keep yourself as safe as possible?
Yeah, man, the main part is being safe and following all the guidelines possible to keep yourself away from COVID. So obviously staying sanitized, wearing your mask, keep your social distancing, and then traveling wise, it's going to be a different scenario. I'm sure you're going to travel with less staffing. Going to try to figure out ways to stay safe while on the road. And so we have a code of conduct that kind of keeps us in line with the rules going forward as far as COVID is concerned.
Mm-hmm. Your upbringing, a Florida boy, bounced around a lot from school to school. Talk to us and tell us what your childhood was like.
Man, it was a struggle, bro. My childhood was a major struggle, man. My mom, was always, she was always getting locked up, you know what I'm saying? So she was in and out of jail basically all my childhood life. My dad died when I was 12. My brother was a gangster. He was always in the streets and getting locked up for selling drugs. And so I had to basically raise my little brother on my own at times. And so when I played, basketball, I didn't play organized basketball until I was 14. But I played at the parks all the time. I was always going to the parks and playing basketball. And then and even up until I got into the NBA, man, my mom was still getting locked up. You feel me? So it was always a struggle. I had to make adult decisions at a young age. I went to 6 different high schools, trying to make sure I make the right decision. Each high school was different because they saw how good I was. They tried to take advantage of the opportunity, and I was on game enough to know that I wasn't trying to get finessed by any of those situations. And so it forced me to transfer to school from school to school to try to find the right situation for me. But then once I got to the NBA, I was able to find a sense of consistency. You know what I'm saying? And when I found that consistency, I was able to now focus on the game of basketball and just kind of go from there.
What did you hold on to, or what inspired you or helped you get through, as a 14-year-old starting to play basketball, you're becoming a man, but there's so much up and down and, like you said, inconsistency in your life. What was the thing that kept you on track? Because I think at the end of the day, you only really got a chance to play, 2 years of high school basketball?
Yeah, I first played organized basketball at 14, and I was drafted at 18.
Right.
So it was a quick turnaround between my first
But you didn't
game.
really get to play. You didn't really get to play that whole 4 years, though, right? You didn't really. You missed some seasons in high school, right?
Yeah. So exactly right. I only played 2 years of high school basketball.
Yeah. So to think about, you were the number 9 pick in the draft after playing basketball for just 2 years. That shit is fucking crazy.
Yep. And then I went on to get Rookie of the Year, the first to ever get Rookie of the Year out of high school.
Yeah. 2003 Rookie of the Year. What was it like? I mean, like you said, you finally found some stability, and a normal routine, and you were able to just focus on basketball. How good did that feel? Obviously, your play on the court showed you won Rookie of the Year, first team All Rookie. But how did that feel inside? Like, okay, I think I made it. I know what I'm doing on this now that I could just focus on hoop.
Yeah, you know what kept me grounded throughout that whole process of my childhood years, man. I always stay locked into God. You know what I'm saying? I always said my prayers every night. You know, so my mother always instilled in me to always say my prayers and really stay focused on God and always, pray for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. So I would always focus on that. That kind of kept me focused. It kept me humble, and it kept me being my own person. So I never really fell down the leadership qualities of the wrong crowd. Never got involved in that space. So it kept me locked in. And once I got to the league, that continued. But then now I got veteran players I can talk to. At the time, it was Penny Hardaway, Steph Marbury, Tom Gugliotta. You know what I'm saying? So I would just soak in game from them, and they helped me kind of learn how to become a man within the NBA space.
Mm-hmm. How did AAU play a role in your development and exposure?
AAU was key for me, man, because when I first started playing basketball, I was not known in the state of Florida. Then I started playing AAU basketball. I became top 100 my freshman year. And then every summer when we hit that circuit, you're going to play against players from different parts of the United States, and you're seeing the talent, and there's hype behind these guys. You got so-and-so, top 5 in the country. You play against him, and you balled out that game, then now your rankings go up from a top 100 to top 10, and you play against the #1 player in the country. You ball him out.
Who was some of the number one, and not to cut you off, who were some of the number one players that you overcame by the time you took the number one spot your senior year?
My freshman year was a guy named Antonio Lawrence from Jacksonville, Florida. He was like a freak of nature, man. 6'7" point guard, crazy bounce, windmill, all that freshman year. It was crazy. And then along the way it was Shavlik Randolph was top 5, Ray Felton was top 5, Carmelo Anthony was top 3. You know what I'm saying? You had Chris Bosh that was top 10. And then class after me was LeBron James. LeBron was already top 2, top 3, and he was a year under us. And the year before us, you had Tyson Chandler was number 1 in the country. You had Eddie Curry was number 2 in the country. Kwame Brown was top 5. And so every time I saw any of those guys, I played against all of them except for Bron. But anytime I saw them on the circuit, I was at their head you know what I'm saying? Because I wanted to reach that number 1 spot.
Mm-hmm. Kill or be killed.
Yes, sir.
So 2002 McDonald's All-American game at Madison Square Garden. You get a chance to play with Melo. What was that like? Oh,
man. Melo and I go way back, man. It's from AAU basketball. You know what I'm saying? So, for us to be in the McDonald's game, we're hanging out, you know what I'm saying? Like homeboys do. We just kind of were kicking it, having fun, enjoying the time, enjoying the experience of New York, playing at Madison Square Garden as 17-year-olds. We're like, man, this is, you know what I'm saying? We're in heaven. You feel me? So, and then playing with him in the game, I saw the talent from Melo when he was in high school, offensive juggernaut. He already had the same pull-up game. He had, you know what I'm saying, at that time, high school three-pointers, shooting 40% from the 3. He still had the handles and all that even back then. And so it was fun playing with him.
Basketball is back, and to celebrate its return, DraftKings, the leader in one-day fantasy sports, is giving new players a free shot at a $1 million top prize.
If you haven't tried daily fantasy sports, what are you waiting for? Get in the game now and use code SMOKE during sign-up, only with DraftKings.
Playing daily fantasy sports is simple. Just pick your lineup, stay under the salary cap, and see how your team stacks up against the competition.
Every dunk, steal, assist means so much more with DraftKings daily fantasy lineup. And for all you football fans, even though the season is winding down, there's still plenty of action to unfold.
With the season headed toward the playoffs shortly, I'm excited. I love what Josh Allen's been doing for the Bills. DK Metcalf has been a man-child over in Seattle, racking up points often. And one person that I'm not going to sleep on, because heading towards the playoff is when he's always at his best, is Tom Brady. Who are some of the guys you're looking at?
I'm excited to see the Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers connection. I think these two guys have been dominant for a long time, and I think it's time for them to take it to the next level. They've been playing well. I'm excited to see what they do in the postseason.
With DraftKings, payday comes every day for players. So what are you waiting for? Go to the App Store and use the code SMOKE.
That's code SMOKE, and you can get a free shot at a $1 million top prize. Only at DraftKings.
Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for more details.
Who was recruiting you coming out of high school? What colleges were recruiting you?
Man, I got North Carolina, Memphis, Florida, all the Florida schools, NC State. But everybody knew I was going out of high school. Everybody knew I was going to the NBA. And then a lot of colleges also a little bit skeptical of me because I had a troubling background. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that I was getting in trouble. It was the fact that my family was always getting in trouble. You feel what I'm saying? It was always inconsistency with me growing up. You feel me? So a lot of the schools were
association.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of schools were a little bit kind of skeptical about it, and I was going to the league anyways.
When did you make that decision? When did you know that it was league bound?
I was trying to get to the league from my freshman year in high school.
He said, "Fuck it, I'm going."
Man, listen, man. I was trying to get out the hood, bro. Like I was already
I feel it.
My mindset was already set on NBA. You feel me? And then I had a role model too. I never really spoke to when I was in high school, but I kind of watched him from afar. Tracy McGrady. You know what I'm saying? T-Mac from the same hood. He's from like a few cities over. But when I saw Matt go to high school, I'm like, shit, I can do the same thing. You feel me? So I'm like, my freshman year, I was locked on going out of high school. And so I just kept pursuing that throughout my entire high school career.
Yeah, you just answered my next question. I was going to ask you, did you identify to KG, Kobe, and T-Mac going to yourself following in their footsteps? And you just answered that question.
Yeah, man, Mac for sure. One of the Polk County's finest. You know what I'm saying? I was watching Mac play. He went to Mount Zion. I went to Mount Zion. But then you also got obviously KG, who came out of high school. Kobe came out of high school. You know what I'm saying? And so all those high school guys, I feel like we're a fraternity, man. Ain't nothing but a few of us. And the guys can't do it no more, unfortunately. But for the guys who were able to go out of high school, that's a group in history that can never be duplicated.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very few players come straight out of high school and make an impact the way you do. What was it like? You know what I mean? So like I said, you jumped literally from a few years of just playing basketball in general to being a rookie of the year in the NBA. What was that first year like?
Man, listen, when I got to the NBA, there's a lot of terms that I didn't understand. I didn't know what an up and under was. I didn't know what you you dribble left, Euro step, all that. A lot of those terms, I didn't quite understand what they were because I was a high school player and I only played till high school basketball. And when I was in high school, my coaches was like, just go and play because, I was just dominant. So they didn't really coach much and try to teach me the game. And so my rookie year, I was learning game by game, practice by practice, different terms, how to shoot, how to dribble, how to, all these different things I developed while I was in the league. And so I happened to somewhat critique my game and watch film after every game, every practice to improve each and every day.
Who were some of those people you looked up to as you were learning? Were there players in the league, maybe teammates? Who helped you with that learning curve being so young?
Yeah, my teammates for sure. My teammates for sure helped along the way. And then I also had some pretty cool young guys that was with me too, man. Me, Joe Johnson, Sean Marion. We had my man Alton Ford at the time. So we had a nice group of young guys who we always held ourselves accountable and trying to get better. So we'll play one-on-one every day after practice, and we'll stay, we'll just stay locked in on trying to improve. And then we had a family bond off the court. My mom, his mom, our family all got along. So we all hung out and had barbecues and cookouts. So we had a fun vibe.
Rest in peace to the homie Alton Ford, man. That was the homie, man. That's my brother.
Yeah, man. Blessed memory, man.
Absolutely.
Hey, 2003, we got a chance to play against y'all in the playoffs, in the first round of playoffs. Talk about when you got a chance to battle against Duncan. I remember you hit that backboard shot to send it to overtime. They told me to close. They told me to show and get back and let Dave come back to you because they said you wasn't gonna shoot it. And we all know it took Dave 2 hours to get from one end of the court to the other end of the time. So you know he wasn't closing out on a 3-pointer. So I showed Matt. I did everything I was supposed to do because Pop take me out for farting. So I went over there and I faked to him and I went back to my man and Amare shot it out the glass. Talk about that first round, man.
Yeah, it was incredible, man. It was my first time in the playoffs. It was my rookie year, and it was always a battle between who's going to be rookie of the year between me and Yao Ming. And Yao Ming was an incredible talent, man. 6'8" player from China, had a major height behind him. And so in that game, playing against the Spurs, playing against y'all in the playoffs, I wanted to try to establish myself as like the next young dominant four-man. You know what I'm saying? I'm playing against Tim Duncan and David Robinson, which I got a chance to really set myself up properly. And so when that shot came to me, it was no hesitation for me, man. I shot it. You know what I'm saying? It went off the glass and we went into overtime. And I think Steph ended up winning the game in overtime with a game-winning shot later on that game.
From half court.
Yeah.
From half court off a missed free throw. But look, just even though we beat y'all four games, bro, you were dominant that series. You were the only person we didn't have an answer for. And what was special was at the beginning of that series, Marbury was killing Tony Parker.
Right.
I mean, killing. We had Speedy Claxton, another New York guard, to come in and kind of keep up with Steph. So that saved us. But if Steph would have kept getting off, we probably would have won 7 games. We probably wouldn't have won that series. But you definitely was dominant, bro.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Appreciate that.
The next season, a lot of injuries. Mike D'Antoni takes over. You guys missed the playoffs. What was the new philosophy and energy? What did it feel like? Because you guys kind of started building there. Obviously, Steve Nash came, but what was it like with that new era of basketball that you guys took over? It was similar to what we did in Golden State a few years before, but you guys kind of took it to that next level. What kind of excitement did he bring to your guys' team?
Well, we traded like 6 players. You know what I'm saying? We traded Steph, Penny, Googs. We traded like 6 guys, man. And so we finished that season, playing the season with like 8 players. You know what I'm saying? So we were like, man, we got to do something. We had our core group between myself, Sean Marion, Joe Johnson. You know what I'm saying? We had some young guys with Leandro Barbosa. So we had a nice little young squad. We just needed some more veteran players, and we needed a point guard. And that was my deal. We needed a point guard, and so I was expressing that to like the management in the front office that we got to get a point guard. We need a point guard, someone who control the game. And so when Mike D'Antoni came on board as head coach, and then we brought Steve in. Both of those guys had a similar philosophy for us, like offensively driven. And so it happened naturally, man. Steve and I never did like time of just like putting in crazy amount of time of learning how to do pick and rolls together. It just happened naturally. Mike D'Antoni offense, when he put the offense in, everything just happened to flow with a natural flow. And that's how we got out to a great start. The following year we won like I think 60-some games, and we just, we hit the ground running that year.
What was it like building chemistry with Steve on the court? On and off the floor, excuse me.
Yeah, on the court, man, it was easy, bro. I mean, it was an easy deal for us because Nash and I, it happened organically. You know what I'm saying? Nash was a pass-first point guard, and I was a player who wanted to set the tone and try to dominate every chance I got. You know what I'm saying? So anytime Nash dropped the ball off to me, I'm catching flight range. You feel what I'm saying? And so, and I'm attacking the rim. So it wasn't like I'm going in there and trying to draw fouls or shoot floaters and lay the ball up.
Nah, you wasn't doing
that.
You know
what I'm saying? I'm attacking the rim. And so every time Nash drop him off, it's like an easy combination between him and I. And so when you got that type of combination going, and then teams got to respect that, and you surround that with some shooters and a few playmakers, you got a great formula. And off the court, Steve was one of the homies, man. Steve going to the clubs with us. We've been to clubs. We go to the, to the vibe clubs. You feel what I'm saying? We're like, hold on. Man,
Nah,
Steve, what you
is
doing in here, man?
Steve is comfortable in there.
Yeah.
Steve. A lot of people don't know Steve is cool as fuck. Steve got some
homie.
nigga in him, but
bro.
yeah.
And so and that helped with the team chemistry too, man. Like we saw Steve in the spots where we hung out at, and he came and hung out with us and kicked it with us for a little bit. And then the next day on the court, we like, man, listen, we got even a better, stronger bond now.
Yeah.
So it became more of a family atmosphere.
Yeah. Well, that leads me to my next question. How fun was it once everybody vibed? Obviously, your and Steve's was effortless and most important, but like you said, you got, Sean Marion, Joe Johnson, Quentin Richardson, Barbosa. You guys got a real squad. Whenever we played y'all, we knew we were in for a motherfucking track meet war. But what was it? How fun was it playing with that group of guys?
Yeah, for sure. Every time we played y'all in Golden State, boy, we had to make sure you strap up. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be hot.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I did give you a 30-point triple-double. I should have did.
But remember, they tried to put they tried to put us on him.
We all had to guard Amare.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. That shit was the worst, bro.
But look, I remember this though. So look, this what happened, right? So they started a Donald Foyle, right? So some kind of thing happened on a fast break where you dunked on O'Donnell so bad. Nelly didn't play him no more and just let me and Matt deal with you the rest of the game. Nelly didn't even play him no more, dog.
Yeah, man.
Nelly was like, at least foul him. O'Donnell, you the biggest guy there. At least foul him, bro.
At the end of this time.
Yeah,
y'all look like you had a lot of fun, man.
Man, I was no mercy, bro. I was playing with no mercy, man. But the thing is, boy, you know what I'm saying? We ready to attack, man. We was always in attack mode, you feel me? And so, anytime we get in the open court, man, everybody had the green light to attack and shoot when they're open. And that made the game a lot of fun for us out there.
Mm-hmm. So 2005, that playoff year, you guys are the top seed in the West. You beat Memphis. You beat Dallas. Joe Johnson fractures his eye bone in Game 2, misses the rest of the series, and then you guys run into the Spurs in the Western Finals.
Yeah. That's tough, man, because the Spurs have a system that they run. And so when it comes down to the postseason, the experience is what kind of prevailed. You know what I'm saying, in the playoffs. And for us, with such a young team, we were still trying to figure that experience out. And so even though we was like stacked up against each other almost evenly, it's just that the experience of them knowing how to play, knowing where to get that basket, when it's like how to close out quarters, how to execute down the stretch, how
the
to
small shit that matters.
Yeah, your side of bounce plays, all these things. They made sure they took care of all those. And so it was tough to beat them, man. We couldn't get over the hump that year.
Next season, cartilage damage, you get microfracture. And that's a scary surgery back in those. I mean, it's still a scary surgery, but particularly back then. That's one of those serious surgeries where a lot of people don't actually get the blood circulating back to their knee, and it could be a wrap. You came back, played all 82 games, and averaged 20. How challenging, how hard did you put yourself through rehab to be able to come back like you didn't miss a beat?
That nigga a robot, dog.
For real, that shit is crazy, bro.
Everybody always said that, like, all the surgeries this motherfucker went through, and he come back still dunking. Some people couldn't dunk when they got drafted.
Yeah, man, I was, it was tough, bro. Honestly, I was come to play retirement. You know what I'm saying? Because it was excruciating pain I was feeling at times. I go out there on the court and I try to push through the comeback, and it's like my knee would feel great one day, and it feel like it's about to fall off the next. And I was like, man, this is just too much to deal with. And so I just persevered. I stayed with it. My family kept giving me encouragement. You know what I'm saying? And so I kept like pushing through. And then once I got over the hump where I started feeling better, and then I was like, man, I'm back. And so I was doing a lot of cardio. I was training. I was listening to all my training staff about proper sleep, about how to exercise properly and using proper technique. And so I was doing all that, you know what I'm saying? And then so when I came back that following year, I got first team All-NBA, we got back to the All-Star status, and I was on from there.
I mean, you touched on something that was well spoken on. I got a chance to experience, but how great that medical staff over at Phoenix was.
Yeah, they were top notch, man. They
Yeah.
really were. They were cutting edge
Yeah.
because a lot of things that we're doing now, as far as like from the technology of the equipment that we have now, and then using like the corrective exercises to kind of get your body warmed up and work on certain muscles that trigger certain areas. They were the ones who started that whole movement. Yeah. And so
Aaron and what was the Cowboy? What were them dudes, man? They was a cool little crew.
Aaron Nelson, Mike Elliott, those guys.
Yeah, good crew, man. Shout that crew out, man. So, but you come back, like the thing when I was reading over this stuff today, what tripped me out is you come back and you played 82 games after a microfracture surgery, and we've been talking, throughout our time on this podcast, like 82 used to be a badge of honor. Like that's what everyone wanted to play. No one was trying to sit out for any reason. And the fact that you came off a microfracture surgery and played 82 games just spoke to what it used to be like and what the goal we used to aspire. Like everyone wanted to play 82 games back then.
Right, absolutely.
Not no more. They hang out too late and they got a hangover headache. And that last 2 days they're not gonna play. Shit has changed.
Yeah, it's for sure changed, bro. Like back then we like 82 games. You're right, it's a badge of honor, man. I played every game. You know what I'm saying? I was in the battlefield every night. I didn't take no days off, no time off. It's like we getting active every single night. Ain't no resting, none of that. Now in today's game, it's a whole different situation now, boy. They want to take days off and rest and recover and time management, load management, and all that. Back in the day, we was getting active,
Regardless.
Get it how you live.
Right. Whether you felt like it or not. You know what I mean? It was just whether you was hungover or not, whether you was hurt enough to still play or not, like you just played regardless. You might sweat that shit out.
Hey Matt, that one game you want to rest, that same motherfucker at the end of the bench that been dying to get out there might take your minutes in one game. You never know.
Man, come on. Right. That next dog is always waiting. 2007, second seed. You guys end up making a strong push and run into San Antonio again. Talk to us about that matchup.
Huh?
Man, we saw the Spurs. all we kept hearing in our sleep, go Spurs, go. Go. I'm like, I'm waking up and having nightmares. Like, man, I can't, what's going on, man? every year we ran into the Spurs, man, and they always were like, again, they always were like well-oiled machine, bro. They knew what to do. They knew how to handle business. They knew how to prepare themselves. The veteran guys, they were like on point with everything. Pop made the proper adjustments down the stretch. And so again, man, we had a hard time getting over the hump with them.
But y'all had y'all had a good check. That was the series that was 2-2 that Robert Horry ended up hip checking Steve into the thing. You and I think Boris get suspended for a game for just stepping over the line, which was some bullshit. And but I felt you guys had a real chance. I thought that would have definitely went, could change the whole momentum of the series with those suspensions.
Yeah, man, no question, bro, no question. Because when that happened with Robert Horry, when he kind of chin checked Steve, I don't know if he flopped or what, but when I saw him flying into the scoreboard,
he went hard.
I haven't ever seen him like that before. Mm-hmm. So I'm walking up the court like, what's going on? Like, what, is he all right? Like, what happened? Like, you know what I'm saying? And so we had no idea that would lead to a suspension. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so we sent back waiting on Stu Jackson to make the call on whether we're going to play or not for Game 5. And I'm like, man, it's the playoffs, man, for sure. We'll get a warning. Like, I'm almost for certain that we're not going to get suspended. Like, it'd be a warning. It's the first time we ever did this. And he came back with a suspension call. I'm like, what? Then, it was crazy, man. I mean, I went over to Stoudemire's downtown. I had a restaurant across the street from the arena. You know what I'm saying? So I went over there, took the family over there, and we watched, because we weren't allowed to go to the arena to watch the game. So I just went to the restaurant across the street, and I watched the game in there, and I saw we had a chance to win Game 5. It was a close game, but we ended up losing, man. That was heartbreaking.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know that was hard.
Especially, your front court. Boris was a monster. Boris was an underrated monster.
For sure.
And obviously, you already know what you was doing. So fast forward 2008, lose Spurs. So that's when Powell goes to the Lakers, and they make a run at it. 2009 is when I had an opportunity to play with you. But I remember, was it training camp that you got a detached retina? I thought your eyeball, like literally, I thought your shit was gonna come out. I remember that day.
Yeah, man. It was in training camp, bro. It was like I think it was in Tucson.
Remember, we had a scrimmage that day. We weren't even at the facility. We went somewhere and scrimmaged. Yeah, and you guys were going for a loose ball in the corner. Exactly. And who poked your eye?
It was Boris Diaw.
Yes.
So
That shit was bad,
when I
man.
hit the ground, I was like, man, what's going on? I'm telling the training staff, like, I can't open my eye. I just can't open it. And he's like, Amare, relax, your eye is open. Then that's when I panicked. I'm like, wait, my eye's open?
Hold on. Say that
shit
again.
was fucked up, bro.
So when I hit the ground, I'm sitting there like, I can't open my eye. I can't open it. And then the training staff was like, Amare, relax, your eye is open. So that's when my heart dropped because I couldn't see not one speck of light. I'm like, wait, what? My eyes open? But I can't see anything. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh man. So like they're like, don't panic, relax. I'm like, I can't see. And so they dropped like eye drops in there, and then gave me like 5 minutes or so. 10 minutes passed by, I started seeing like a little bit of light. I'm like, all right, cool, it's getting better. And then I saw some more light 5-10 minutes later, and then it eventually got back to a blurry state, and then it got back to like 100% eventually. And then so I went on and played like half the season. And for some reason, my eye was feeling like a little lazy kind of before the game, and we played the Clippers that night. So I went out. So before the game, I went to the training staff. I said, listen, I want to get my eye checked out when I get back to Phoenix. And so I get in the game, play the Clippers. I got 45 that night. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going back to Phoenix. I go see the eye doctor just for like a routine checkup. He comes to me and says, Amare, you got to have an emergency procedure. You have a detached retina. I'm like, what? I'm like, man, well, hold on. What's a retina? What do you mean? Emergency procedure. I'm like, we got a game. We got a game Wednesday. He's like, your season's over. I'm like, what? I had 45 last night. What you mean my season's over? Like, hold on, man. So and then I had to go through that surgery, and then in order to recover from that, they put a gas bulb in my eye to keep the retina attached. So in order for that gas bulb to stay on the retina to reattach it, I had to lay face down for 22 hours a day for 10 days straight.
I remember that shit.
Damn.
That was some real shit. Needless to say, our best player goes down, so we missed the playoffs that year. But no, I remember that eye injury, bro. Like we was all
22
it was like just
hours a day for 10 days.
Face down.
Man, listen, the time we was like, all right, you got a doctor appointment today. I'm like, yes, man. I can look up, I can go outside, look around. Like I'm about to go. I was going to Disney World or something, man.
Right, just to get
crazy.
out of the spot.
2010 Western Conference Finals. Lakers, you was battling with Kobe. What was that like? We missed Kobe. We lost Kobe this year, but a lot of people didn't get a chance to battle with him. Y'all had some good battles in the playoffs. What was that like?
Yeah, man. Cole was a force to be reckoned with, man. I battled Kobe my whole career, basically. When I first got to Phoenix, it was Shaq and Kobe. And then they brought in Gasol and them. So in 2010, they had Ron Artest at the time, Metta World Peace. And so they had a solid team, you feel me? And so we did too. But every time we played Kobe always pull a rabbit out the hat, man. He always do something spectacular, man, to change the whole momentum. I'm like, hold on, man. This cat, we sent double teams at him. He fade.
Didn't matter.
He turned away from the double team, fade on the baseline. You know what I'm saying? Hesitation, split two, dunk one time. I'm like, hold on, man. It's crunch time. Like, we got to stop Kobe. I'm like, Grant. I'm telling Grant Hill, man, hey, man, tighten up, man. But wasn't nothing we can do, bro. Wasn't nothing we can do, man. Cole was special, bro. It was like I ain't never seen nothing like it.
Mm-hmm. So that ends your time. Did you have a feeling? Was it in the air? Did you have thoughts? I mean, obviously there was trade talks when you decided to take your talent to the Knicks. How did that come about?
Yeah, you know what? There was some trade talks in the year prior, and I'm like, man, listen, we only want if Kobe shot a corner air ball, Ron Artest caught the ball and scored at the buzzer. You know what I'm saying? And we were right there, Western Conference Finals. Got a chance to go to the finals. We only one game away. And so I'm like, listen, I just bought a crib in the Biltmore area. I'm looking to set up shop. My family's here. You know what I'm saying? I spend my summers in Phoenix. I'm always here. I'm doing everything for the community. I'm locked into Phoenix. You know what I'm saying? And so I get into negotiating meetings, and negotiations didn't go as planned. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, hey man, hey, it is what it is. He's like, well, I got guys that can replace you tomorrow. I'm like, man, you talking like that to me?
Who said that?
This
Who
is
said
what
that?
Sarver was saying. Like, I got
Hey,
somebody
Robert.
to replace
Hey,
you.
he's a
That
bitch.
man brought in Hedo Turkoglu.
He's a
That man
bitch.
brought in Hedo Turkoglu and Josh Childress. Man, I say, man, you got to be kidding me, man. So I ended up going to New York. I went to the Knicks, man.
I ain't mad at you.
Hey, Jack,
Nah, Jack, he's a clown.
Man.
I mean, you heard. I mean, I fuck with Hito. I fuck with Hito, and but come on, man, like
No, those are
cut
my
it
guys.
out.
Those are my guys,
But the
man. I got nothing
fact,
against them.
but I'm saying the fact that he's talking to his franchise player like that just shows what kind of clown he is.
Yeah.
And then some
I'm
sucker shit he said about me when I left got back to me. That's why. Was it the year after I went, or maybe 2 years later? I got fined $25,000 for telling him to shut the fuck up before I smacked the shit out of him. Right, I think it was right in front of his wife, but I wasn't even talking to him, and he was over in the corner chirping, and I already didn't like him. So he started talking crazy. I turned around off the foul, like, I'll come over there and slap the shit out of you right now. Got banned, $25,000.
Man, they ain't made the playoffs since. They ain't made the playoffs since. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, listen, man. You got if you're concerned with anything from a physical standpoint, you're not having faith in your training staff. The training staff the best in the league. They're gonna make sure guys stay healthy. And you got a hell of a combination with Stak and Nash. You willing to break that up? You willing to break that up?
Right.
You gotta let that ride.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Literally, you gotta let the wheels fall off of that until they do.
Yeah, because Nash already in his mid-30s. You know what I'm saying? I'm in my like mid to late 20s. Even if we play another 5 years together and Nash decide to retire and then whatever happens from there, but you gotta see what we can do at least. Right. And so when that didn't happen, man, I went to New York and we got it popping up in New York.
Yes, sir. When you decided to go to New York, was it a process where you had talked to anybody else about possibly coming with you, or were they telling you that they were going after anybody else?
Yeah, I mean, when free agency hit, it was a big free agency that year. You know what I'm saying? Everyone, LeBron, everybody was like a free agent that year. And so Miami Heat was the first thing that called me. Pat called me. We talked on the phone. I talked to the Rockets. I talked to the Nets at the time. It was the Jersey Nets at the time. You know what I'm saying? And so I talked to the few teams and the Knicks. And so I spent a lot of time in New York in my childhood years. I was raised in Port Jervis, New York. And so I was always I had a love for New York. Even though I was a Bulls fan, I was an MJ fan growing up, but still I had love for the Knicks and in New York growing up. So when Matt and D'Antoni was there in New York and some of the coaching staff that I was with here in Phoenix was already there, I'm like, this might be a nice fit for me to just go there and kind of pick up where I left off. And so that's when I decided to go to New York and I wanted to bring some guys with me. I talked about bringing CP. I talked about bringing Tony Parker. I talked about bringing Melo. You know what I'm saying? I ended up bringing Melo to New York. You know what I'm saying? Like I was already on that, like bringing players in to the city to make things happen here. So that was the whole mission.
That's what's up.
What was it like becoming a Knick, though? Like, what was that experience like? Like a lot of people want to play in the Garden. A lot of people want to play for the Knicks. Just that experience of playing the Madison Square Garden is one thing, being there, watching the game, watching Spike and all of them. But actually being a player for the New York Knicks, one of the best players coming out of their locker room every day, dealing with the media and all that. What is it like actually being a New York Knicks player?
Man, I enjoyed it, man. I really did. I think at that time the front office was like on point. We had solid GMs. We had Donnie Walsh there. We had Glenn. We had Donnie Walsh was doing a heck of a job.
That's my guy.
He was doing a heck of a job in New York, and everything was running perfectly from an organization standpoint. And then so when I was there with the Knicks, it was like, everything is top notch. Everything. You got the Rockettes performing at halftime. You got Taylor Swift doing a pregame intro for the Knicks. My family meeting their favorite artist. Everything was ran Class A. You got Broadway shows. I was going to the Met Galas in fashion. I was one of the first guys to go to the fashion shows and sit, you know what I'm saying, sit front row with Anna Wintour. I was going to the operas. You know what I'm saying? I put on the tuxedo and go to the opera. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was doing all that New York flavor.
Some grown man shit. I love hearing about the off court, because although it wasn't a championship type team, it's still, you guys made the playoffs obviously, but it's still New York. You know, similar to LA. Like, there's no experience like being a Laker, but then that experience like being the Knicks is right there. You know what I mean? Because New York is obviously live, so it's dope to hear like all the shit off the court that came with it, because you guys are doing your job on the court.
Yeah, and nobody was doing that. I'm like, listen, man. I'm like,
right.
Let me nobody live in the city? I'm like,
everyone's out in white. Everyone's out in White Plain. Everyone's out in White Plain. That shit's hard as hell.
Man, listen, I found me a penthouse in the city. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I'm gonna enjoy New York and also hold myself accountable to being the player I need to be to make this team a playoff team. You know what I'm saying? Right. But yeah, it was definitely a vibe.
Mm-hmm. So despite a big season, you guys go down to Boston and come across an injury in 2012. And after that, it never really seemed like you were, no one's really pain-free, but you were injury-ridden the rest of your time in New York.
Yeah, I was struggling, man. I had I was after like this third year, I started having some minor little injuries that would add up. And I was trying to get myself together, but I couldn't find the right proper technique with the training situation. And so I was having some knit-knot situations, like going through that whole process, and I couldn't really get it figured out. And so for like 2.5 years, I was ridden with like small little injuries that was affecting me. But I also felt positive about it because, bringing in Melo was able to somewhat carry the load, even though it was tough for him to be by himself. But he was still able to carry the load and try to do what he could to make sure the team was still being successful, while his big dog was still trying to get himself together. So, it was definitely a tough stretch there in the last two years or so.
Well, go into a little bit, obviously, of how mentally tough that is. I mean, you were a rising superstar, multiple-time All-Star. If it wasn't for the Spurs, would have definitely touched the finals, possibly won a ring, but then just not to be able to contribute when you're playing on the biggest stage. I mean, Madison Square Garden is the Mecca. You know what I mean? You spoke on how fun off the court was because you guys are doing your job on the court. How mentally tough was it being able to get over those hurdles, knowing that, like, goddamn, like, I know how good I am, I just can't do what I'm supposed to do because I'm hurt?
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough, man. I mean, it really was. I mean, it took a lot of mental strength in order to understand how to mentally get over the hump. I mean, I was trying everything, bro. I went vegan for 4 months, trying to make sure I eat properly and make sure my body gets optimum opportunity to heal and get healthy. I was doing it all, bro. I was trying to keep myself in order. I was getting proper rest and everything, just trying to do whatever I can. And to not be able to, to get out there and perform on certain nights was tough for me. You know what I'm saying? But my family kept me focused. You know what I'm saying? My children, my babies kept me locked in. Like when I go home and see they smile and they hug me no matter what. Mm-hmm. That kind of brought me back to a humble experience. So that helped me along the way.
When did the red wine bath recovery routine begin?
And does that shit really work?
Hey, listen, man. I was this female friend I was talking with. She gave me a gift. Right, and she gave me a gift, and the gift was go to this ancient bath place, and you go in there. It's like very romantic. You have like the hot tub.
Send me the Addy.
You got the salt bath. You got the cold plunge. You got all this, and then the gift for me was like to take this wine bath. I'm like, a wine bath? I'm like, what's take a wine bath for? So I go in there. You know what I'm saying? Take the wine, I get into the bath. It's like half wine, half water. It's like 98 degrees, 100 degrees in the bath. They bring you ice water, and also they bring you a glass of wine and just relax. And so I was doing it, man. I took a little selfie shot, and it went viral. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But yeah, anytime I had a day off, I go there and hit all the baths, right? The salt bath, which helps with body rejuvenation. The cold plunge, contrast between cold and hot. You know what I'm saying? I jump in the wine bath, like a nice little day of recovery for me, and so that's what I was doing.
Yeah. So you started doing that as a regular routine. How much would one of those wine baths cost? Because you said you only soak in the finest of wines.
Man, you gotta cut the check, baby. You gotta cut the check.
Yeah, so I'm saying. So how much would a wine wine bath cost? I need to know.
I'm a port drinker, Amare.
Yeah.
Stat. I love drinking ports. That's my thing. Ports. I love ports.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. For sure. I be sipping on that Cabernet.
I wanted to know, what was your most expensive wine bath?
The most expensive wine bath?
Yeah.
Man, gotta add some zeros to that.
Yeah, cause you a big you a big motherfucker, so it's gonna take a lot of bottles.
Hey, facts. I'm telling you. Actually, you know what? The tub sits 4 people, so it's like a big.
Yeah, I seen it.
I
seen the thing you did on ESPN. Yeah, so that was big as shit.
Yeah.
So from you leave the Knicks in 2015, sign with Dallas, bounce around a little bit, then you head off to Israel. What made you choose Israel? Did you feel like your time in the NBA was up? You wanted a new challenge, something different? What made you go over the water?
Yeah, I went from Dallas to Miami. I played 1 year with the Heat, and then I went to Israel. So the team in Jerusalem, I became part owner of in 2012.
Oh, dope.
And so I figured I might as well go over there and just help raise the equity of the team, and also learn while I'm over there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so that was part of the process of why I decided to go over to Israel, is for both reasons, to learn and also to try to raise the equity of the team.
Now, Michael Jordan, I play for the team I own. How were you embraced? You mean, obviously, NBA superstar goes over there and plays for the team he owns. What was that fandom like? Because I never got a chance to play overseas, but when we go over there in the preseason or you see other sporting events, European fans are over the top. So I'm sure the love was crazy for you out there.
Man, it was crazy, bro. It was crazy. I mean, I had my own song, I had my own chant. It was crazy, man. Every game, it was like fans outside waiting for us. When I traveled to Europe, we went to different places over in Europe. There's fans there with posters and cards for autographs and photos. And then I won a championship that year over there. My first year over there also was like, you know what I'm saying? It was incredible, man. It was a great experience.
Mm-hmm. Once you win the championship overseas, you're a god to them. I won a championship in Dominican Republic. Oh, shit, was that 98, 99? And I still get texts and DMs from them asking me to come back. They carried me, Matt, from the arena to our little neighborhood, which was called Pueblo Nuevo, which was like 5 blocks from the arena. They carried me in my uniform from out the arena 5 blocks down to my house, dog.
That's dope.
I'm just saying it to say overseas, they really appreciate the game and they fans are loyal. You win a championship for them, they love you forever.
I think they did that, Jack, texting you and shit still because they want you to come back and check on your kids you left over there.
But I never been in denial. You know what I'm saying? I was 18, 19. I've never seen that many beautiful women. So I might have one. I might have one or two over there.
I'm trying to tell you, that's why they still DMing you and texting bad numbers. Like, man, this motherfucker had a kid here in '98. Ain't seen him since.
Holla at me. They probably 18 now, so I'm good.
He said I'm good. You stupid as hell. So you decided to convert to Judaism. When did that? What inspired that?
Yeah, so I grew up an Israelite, so I was always kind of engulfed in like the biblical understanding, and I was always like in tune with the Bible. You know what I'm saying? So what I wanted to do is learn more details of what what the Bible is really saying, and so what I was able to do is really get engulfed in like the learning from a deeper magnitude and all the details of like the intricate learnings. And so once I realized there's a structure of that, once I realized there's a way that you can really like learn all the blessings and how to build a close relationship with God, I was like, this is where I need to be. And I realized that, the ideal of like, obviously Judaism, but obviously like just being a Bible scholar, the ideal is just to be able to live like the prophets lived, and how to connect yourself with a total with a total aspect of righteousness. And how do you do that? Because I was searching for that, you know what I'm saying, for a long time. And so that's kind of what led me to like going through the conversion in Israel.
So
That's
it
dope.
sounds like a special place, man. You got over there and got to finish playing your career with the championship and an MVP, and then convert to something you've always been interested to. So that kind of ties me in. I mean, you were someone. I mean, if you don't get it, like people see you on the court as like a monster and a killer, but when it comes to details and art and all these in wines and the sophistication of life, fashion, you're into all that. Where did you pick up just all the nuances of life? Because you live it good.
You know what's funny, man? To be honest with you, like even with my troubling childhood growing up and having to move to run from the police, you know what I'm saying, from one state to the next and all that. But I was able to kind of somewhat learn from different cultures on where we moved to. You feel me? So we moved from like Florida to New York, from New York to Atlanta, from Atlanta to North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in the mix of all these different cultures and learning from all these different vibes to where, as I become, a young man, all that I experienced is still instilled in me. You know what I'm saying? So as I come across those experiences again later on in life, it just becomes natural to kind of reconnect to all those different elements that I was already somewhat experiencing when I was younger.
Mm-hmm. So your journey as a player comes to an end the same year your new journey begins. How excited are you for this next chapter in what's going to be an amazing book of your life?
Yeah, I'm excited, man. I am excited. I think, the opportunity now is just not like I'm in business school right now, so I'm going for my master's in business. So I'm locking in on that and just trying to get myself in a position where I'm able to like really have a career outside of basketball. And then this journey with like into the coaching space or to the front office space, whatever that may lead to, it's an interesting moment in my life at the moment to be able to like really capitalize on that and then build relationships with the players and be able to help school them on how to be successful on and off the court. And so I think it's a great transition from playing because I played last year. I just played like 3 months ago. I got MVP of the finals, and I had a contract on the table to go back over and play. So I could still be very well playing right now professional basketball, but I'd rather just kind of come in and really start my after playing career sooner than later.
No, it's fun.
Hey, I told Matt that I plan on going back and getting my business degree. Man, I'm going to be calling your phone so you can walk me through that because, neither one of us been to college, so that's going to be, I know that was a step. That's a step in the focus you got to really lock in. So I definitely plan on taking that stage, bro, so I'm going to need your advice on that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, my thing is always have, like, someone you can study with, like a tutor or somebody who probably already have been there or someone who's, like, into business already and already, like, involved in that space so that way you can always, like, learn with them and they can help you along the way because a lot of that stuff I never heard before, a lot of terms, a lot of situations within that schooling process that I needed help with. And so I have a tutor that I kind of study with and we both kind of learn together and it helps me kind of learn as we go.
If you can tell a story on your career, what do you want to be remembered as your NBA legacy?
I mean, honest with you, I mean, I was a fierce air player, you feel me? Like I attacked the rim by any means, you know what I'm saying? But I think the ideal of my career is that I was able to persevere, not only through life, as we talked about earlier, but also through like
the ups and downs.
Yeah, also through like the injuries of my career, being able to persevere and still come back, play 82 games, and then become first-team All-NBA, and then still get 6-time All-NBA, and still play 18 years of professional basketball despite all that. So the perseverance, is kind of where it's at. As far as a basketball player, I mean, I was a part of an evolution of the game with the Suns. We kind of somewhat changed the game in a way. We kind of evolved the game and pushed the game forward. And I think that's very important in NBA history for the guys who are able to push the game forward and change the game in a positive way is important. And then when it comes to like postering guys or attacking the rim, I mean, it's only a few guys I can think of that attacked the rim, you know what I'm saying, with more force than I did, you know what I'm saying? Only a few guys I can think of. So, I'm proud of what I've been able to accomplish, man. I thank God for allowing me to play 18 years and still be able to maintain a career and provide for my family. So it was a success for me.
When you look back on an 18-year career, anything you'd change?
I mean, it's not too. I look at it as if I made the right decisions. I mean, my ideal situation was to play with the Suns all the way through, and me and Steve kind of rock out until we both retired. That would have been the ideal situation for me. But I don't take the experience I had in New York was like I could never duplicate that again in my life. It was just something that was an amazing experience. So I can't really change anything because it all made me who I am today, you know.
All right, man, we're coming down the home stretch. Here go quick hitters. Top 5 artists, any genre of music.
Top 5 artists, any genre of music. Tupac Shakur.
Yes, sir.
Marvin Gaye.
Yes, sir.
Frank Sinatra.
Okay.
Let's see. Man, we got artists, right? We're talking about artists. Andre 3000.
Ooh, that's a good one.
What's that, 4?
That's 4.
And then I'm going with Michael Jackson.
Good. Tough. Well-rounded list. Well-rounded list.
What teammate you played with that gave you some memorable career advice?
Shaq. Shaq was my teammate who gave me the most advice from a career standpoint, whether it's business, whether it's entrepreneurship, whether it's basketball terms. I think Shaq is the one that gave me a lot of positive advice that helped me out a lot.
Hey, I've been wanting to get Shaq bad on the phone or on the show just to talk about the shit he would do in our fucking locker room, bro. Remember what kind of wild-ass shit he would be doing fucking with Lou Ahmed?
Big old kid.
No, Jack, you have no idea what kind of shit this motherfucking Shaq was on in the locker room, bro. Unbelievable.
Crazy, man.
Crazy as fuck. There was no rules. Like, there was no, like, are you serious? Like, the nigga had no filter when it came to playing games. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, man. Shaq was wild, man.
A pickup game at the best park in the world. Who are 4 other players you're taking with you?
Pickup game.
Steve.
Pickup game. I for sure bring Nash with me. Is it like random players or like?
Yeah, anybody you want.
Man, I'm bringing
the best black top in the world.
Man, I'm bringing a lot of legends I played with. I'm bringing Jonathan Hargett. You know what I'm saying? From VA. I'm bringing my man. I'm bringing my man Tyrone Sally. Which y'all ain't never heard of these cats, man. a lot of my homies at
some dogs.
Yeah. And then if we go NBA, man, if I put Shaq and MJ on the court, we good.
Hey, two of them niggas he named still got on house monitors. They on house arrest right now.
My boy Jonathan Hargett played at West Virginia. Both him and Tyrone Sally. I played at Mount Zion with both of those guys. Jay Hargett had like a 45-inch vertical leap point guard. Tyrone Sally was like 6'8" wing player. They both played college basketball.
Shout out to the bros. Name one player you always wanted to play with.
I wanted to play with LeBron. I felt like LeBron and I have a similar mindset when it comes to like trying to dominate the game. You know what I'm saying? And being able to have like that killer instinct on the court. You know what I'm saying? And applying leadership in ways that not only vocal leadership but also like example leadership. And so
important.
Yeah, man, I wanted to play with LeBron because I saw a lot of similarities when it comes to those attributes with me and with myself.
That's what's up. 5 dinner guests, dead or alive, for a night of conversation.
5 dinner guests. Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X, Tupac Shakur. Was that 3?
That's 3.
Abraham Lincoln. And I'm probably gonna go with, man, the 5th one. I'll probably go with Maya Angelou.
Ooh, good call.
Maya Angelou, nice.
Good call.
That's a nice 5. Next question. Your answer, you have to help us with your answer, okay?
Okay.
What guest you want to see on our show?
What guests want to see on All the Smoke? I would love to see Kendrick Lamar on All the Smoke.
Ooh, good call.
Oh, K-Dot, you hear that, K-Dot? You got a line on K-Dot? You got a line on K-Dot?
K-Dot been chilling lately, man. I know he cooking up something in the lab. I know he is.
It's gonna be scary.
I can't wait to hear it. With all this shit going on, you know he in there. Oh, man, I can't wait.
In there thinking.
Tupac coming back.
Yeah, man, facts.
All right, Amar'e Stoudemire, man, we appreciate the time. Thank you very much.
Stat.
Yeah,
good
brother.
luck this season with the Nets and in your next chapter of life, man.
Yeah, man.
Jack, good
Hey,
work.
Man.
Stat,
Great
good
show,
work.
fellas, man. Much success. Keep up the good work, fellas. We appreciate it, man. We respect it.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
Hey, Stat, I appreciate you, and we got to get together and get on one of these ports, man, when you get some time.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
All right, famo.
Hey, that's a wrap. All the Smoke. You can catch us on Showtime Basketball YouTube and the iHeart platform.
Black Official.
Black Effects.
Peace.
See y'all next time.
TV taught me how to dream.